Extravagant tenderness is what came upon me through this place, through Father Greg and the staff that are here. It's only right for me to give it to my brothers and sisters that are coming inside this program. And what most people would turn away and walk away and say, hell no, this is, you guys are too rough or whatever, with your tattoos and your attitudes and all that stuff that we say, I know you, I was you. And watch what happens when you come here. Let me walk with you.
Tenderness comes deep inside within your heart and with that love that you have for others, in embracing everyone to give that love without any limitation. And I guess you can line in a room while you walk in with love.
Tenderness is like, to be honest, like a soft spot. So that's what I think of as tenderness, because when you're human, you have feelings and you're able to feel the other person's pain. And yeah, that's what I think of.
You actually have a name for God that I'd never heard before, the Tender One.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to reference God. Tell me more about receiving the tender glance.
Well, my friend Mirabai Starr, she says that once you know the God of love, you fire all the other gods. So maturity, I think, in terms of, to the extent that people believe in God, is that, you want to fire all the gods that are tiny and puny and wrathful and angry and all those things that don't make any sense to the tender one, and to that notion of, this. When you say God is love, that's really what it is. It's not some personified deity that people get stuck in. It's really about love being what you become, where you are literally replaced by love. That whatever concerns you have for, yourself, and being self-absorbed and preoccupied and anxious, suddenly gets not just extended into some other person, but then that becomes your fullest identity.
You mentioned the thorn underneath. We can look underneath the violence and see a lack of hope, a lack of health. And you refer to severed belonging, original severed belonging at birth. If you're not welcomed into the world, if there isn't proper care and food, and how have you seen this healing of severed belonging? And it seems to me that notion of severed belonging is kind of more getting into the root system of what this despair is in people.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you talk about severed belonging, then you're talking about attachment repair.
Yeah.
So everyone who walks through the doors psychologically really comes with a disorganized attachment. Mom was frightening or frightened, and you can't calm yourself down if you've never been soothed. So you want to get to a place where people can be soothed. Homies will talk about, especially most of the folks here have done really long stretches. We have one guy, 43 years in prison. Try to imagine 43 years in prison. So he's here, and this is hard. This is a transition that's difficult. But they all talk about how they kind of line the walls. Their backs are against the walls, literally. Because they have to kind of check and see, is it okay? Is it safe? And then they can move freely once they know that it is. But nothing has prepared them really for this moment, where they're welcomed and attachment repair happens. It's hopeful to know that it's never too late for that to happen. Even if you've done 25 years in prison, and part of the roots of all this is a despair and a trauma and a brokenness that needs healing.
The healing is everything. There's nobody like Father Greg. He never judged, never judged. From gang banging to the drugs, you know, never.
My life before this, I was actually a gang member. I guess it took a lot of healing. I still do therapy as of today. It's been 2 years I do therapy. I will share my stories and people will actually hear me and be there for me. I made lots of friends. It changed my life around, actually.
My life is totally different, totally different. This place right here doesn't just transform lives. It really breaks a chain, you know, that my children's children will not become gang members. This place is a place of healing.
Discover on-demand videos and docuseries, explore a full schedule of daily life classes, and become part of an incredible community. At Sounds True One, we invite you inward to find your way your way.